Hello. So here's the part 3, okay, the long response where you have to show your work for the math, okay, for 5th grade. So this is the book 3. Okay, previous videos I did book 1 for the multiple choice, book 2 for the short ones, okay. Very simple number sentence, you know, does not need to take a few steps. Then the book 3, it's actually the section that it's longer, so it's probably taken like multi-step kind of math. Okay, so here we go. And then after this section, and then you've been going through the whole cycle of grade 5 math state test. Okay, so I'm going to start with this the first question. Okay, so I'll read and then normally as you read, you want to just underline the keywords that are related to math, okay, math related, okay, because you probably don't really need to care like the name of people or what do they do inside the question, okay, it's kind of irrelevant. So just stick with the important math facts. All right, so I'll show you how I normally underline them. Okay, so Harry's fitness trainer recommends that Harry drinks 8 fluid ounces. So this is definitely math word, okay, 8 fluid ounces of water 8 times a day. So that would give you a total, right? So he has a water bottle that actually holds 1 1/4 pints of water when filled. And then he actually filled it 3 times, okay, that day. So he said that he has drank the total amount of water recommended, but we need to find out if he is correct. Okay, so first you need to pay attention, okay? It's ounce and pint. So when they're not in the same unit, okay, you need to make them the same. So you either go to ounce, you either go from ounces to pints, or you go from pints to ounces. I happen to like to go pints to ounces because I think it's just easier. Okay, but you can do it the other way, okay, if you want. So first you need to find out how many ounces does one pint equal to, okay? 1 pint equals to how many ounces? Okay, so you know where you can find that out? Okay, in the beginning of the booklet, okay, they do give you some simple equations, okay? Do you see? They're right here. So over here, so you're gonna need to find the conversion of pint to ounces. So see, pint and ounces, they're here, but it takes 2 steps, okay? So if 1 cup is 8 ounces, then what about 2 cups? So A plus A will be 16 ounces, right? So from there, you don't have to memorize, okay? But you can figure out that 1 pint actually equals to 16 ounces. So you have to write that down. 1 pint equals to 16 ounces. Okay, so then we can start working on it. Okay, so first you have to find out the total amount of water he needs to drink in that day. Total amount. So see, the doctors say 8 ounces a time, and then he needs to drink 8 times. So he will need 64 ounces of water by the end of the day. Okay, so then let's check in his water bottle. Okay, the water bottle is actually in 1 1/4 of pint, right? So you need to convert that to ounces, right? That's why we went back to take a look at the conversion, okay? So you can actually break that into 1 pint plus 1/4 pint, right? That's 1 1/4. So if 1 pint is 16 ounces, then what about 1/4 a pint? So you just chop it down, okay? So if 1 pint is 16, right? The total is 16. And then I only wanted 1/4 of it, right? So total is 16. I need to go into 4 boxes. So how many ounces in 1? Shouldn't it be 4? So 1/4 of pint will be 4 ounces. 4 ounces. So together, his water bottle can only hold 20 ounces of water. Okay, 20 ounces of water. But then he only refilled what? 3 times. So meaning by the end of that day, he actually only drank 60 ounces of water. So did he finish drinking the whole amount? Apparently not, right? No, he still needs 4 ounces of water. You know, he's close, but not as the trainer recommended. Okay, so this is how you solve this question. So there are a couple steps. That's why they're in the book 3. Okay, and then this is going to be the next question. Okay, so again, I typically only focus on the math words. Okay, so Ronnie bought a 25-pound bag of dog food. Okay, so his dog ate 10 2/5 pounds the first month and 10 4/5 in the second month. So how much remaining at the end of it? So it's probably what? Total 25 minus the first month is 10 2/5, right? Because if you want, you can actually put the whole number and the fraction a little further from each other, so it's easier for you to see. Okay, so there you go. So you need to do the minus, right? See, same thing. So this is more like it's 0, right? So what do? You borrow, right? You borrow. Every time when you borrow, you can actually borrow 1 whole at a time. So when you borrow 1 whole, it will be 5, right? Because you want to stick with the same denominator so you can subtract. But see, you need to subtract 2 and 4. So do you have enough? Do you see? This is 2. And then this is 4. But then you only have 5. So it means that you probably need to borrow more before you can go and then subtract them. So you borrow one more time, okay? And then you're going to change your 5 to what? 10. Okay, when you have 10 5, then you can subtract. So 10 minus 2 minus 4 is what? It's 4/5. And then the whole number, you will just left with 23 minus 10 will just be 3, right? So after the 2 months, he will only have 3 4/5 pounds of food left. Dog food left. Okay, so I think the tricky part is probably here, but just don't forget, okay, every time you just go borrow, okay, if you don't have enough, just go borrow another one. When you have enough, then you just do your simple subtraction. Okay, so here's the next question. Okay, 16 students in a drama club want to attend a play. The ticket price is $35 for each student, and then the whole group will cost $960 to take the transportation there. So, but then to pay for the trip, they're gonna have to make their own money. Okay, they have to come up with that money. Okay, so they're thinking of selling it at $19. So how many shirts do they need to sell so that they have the total cost? So first thing you need to know is that you need to find out the total expense. Total, how much money does the class need to spend when they go on the trip, right? The total expense. So first you need to find out the ticket price. Ticket money. Okay, so it's 35 multiply what? There's 16 of them, right? Okay, so it's $560. Okay, so they need $560 for the ticket price, and then they need the transportation, $960. So okay, yeah. So the class needs a total of $1,520 to go to the trip. Okay, so then you're going to need to find out that how many does each one of them need to sell. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so 15, let me put it here. So 1520 divided by 16. Okay, because how much do they each need to be responsible? Okay, so let's see, let's try. If we try, no, it's too small. Okay. Okay, so it's 9. Okay, so it's 144, 80, oh, and then 5. Oh, so each of the kid will need to be responsible for $95, okay? So this is the total amount. 1,520 divided by 16 students. Each of them needs to be responsible for $95. And then if they can sell the sweater for $19, so how many can they sell? So you do another division. 19.5 divided by 19. It's 5. Right? So they just have to, each of them need to sell 5 sweaters to cover their expenses. All right? Okay, the next question. You know, sometimes the ink pen doesn't want it to work. Okay. Anyway, so here comes the next question, okay? Jessie set up a lemonade stand for 3 days. So Saturday, she sold 10 2/3 of gallons of lemonade. Sunday, she sold 3 1/3 more. So make sure you just circle the number that, you know, it's going to matter. It's either plus or minus, okay? They're the critical keywords. Do you really need to care about the days? Probably not. Do you need to know if it's a lemonade? No. But you definitely need to pay attention to the keywords that will change the operation of numbers. So this is what I like to do. I sometimes like to keep things a little organized so that you don't get mixed up, okay? So there are 3 days, right? So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then you just put them in, you know, in the correct box accordingly, and so they won't get lost. So Saturday is 10 gallons and 2/3, right? And then Sunday, it's more. So when it's more, then you add. 2/3 and 1/3 will be 1 whole, right? This will be 1 whole. And then 10 plus 3 is 13. 13 and then the whole will be 14 wholes in total. So that's Sunday, 14 gallons. Okay, Monday, it's 2 2/3 gallon less than Sunday. Okay, so it's 14 minus 2 2/3. Okay, so when you only have whole number, you don't have a fraction, remember, then you just go borrow, okay? So when you borrow 1, then you have 3/3, right? 3/3. So then you can minus the, you know, you wanted to just borrow so that they're the same. So 3/3 minus 2/3 will be 1/3. 13 minus 2 will be 11, right? So that's the number of gallons that she sold on Monday. So they're at, oh, so how many gallons did she sell on Monday? So here, this is the, okay, don't forget your units, okay? This is the answer. Okay? Isn't math fun? Okay. So the next question is related to decimal, okay? So keyword, 3 students perform a science experiment, use salt and a beaker. The beaker has 530 grams of salt before the experiment, okay? During the experiment, each of the 3 removed 47.36 grams of salt. So, see? So, and then how much was left? Okay. So first you need to find out the total salt from the 3 kids, right? From the 3 students. So 47.36, I mean, by 5th grade, you probably have learned how to multiply decimal. It's the same. You just okay, let me do it. Okay. So when you multiply decimal, you first just do your math, pretend the decimal is not there, okay? So 3 times 6. Okay, so it's, okay, so here's the number, right? Then you just have to calculate like how many decimal places are inside the numbers. So 47.36, see the decimal went, and you just count, the decimal went inside from outside, how many place value? It's 1 and 2, right? So the top number, the decimal went from outside to inside, 2 place value, and the bottom, there's no decimal, so 0. And then you add the total of decimal place, then it's 2, right? So you move the same from outside, 2 place. So here is the, so the total from the 3 students is 142.08. So the beaker actually has 530 and 2 minus 142.08. When you do decimal subtraction, you just need to line up the decimal, okay? And then you just do your math. Okay, just put it there and then you just do the math as you always do. Okay, 0 cannot minus a, you borrow. So 10 minus a is 2, 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 cannot minus 2, you borrow. So that's 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 2 cannot minus 4, you borrow. Again, then it's 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. 4 minus 1 is 3. So see, that's how many grams that's left. Grams, don't forget the unit, grams left. Okay? Okay, so the dimensions of Mr. Tide's living room are 10 feet by 18 feet by 8 feet. And then the family room are 14 feet, 20 feet, and 8 feet. They want to know the total. So you basically just calculate the volume of each room, and then you just add them. Okay, so here is the living room. So living room, 10 times 18 times 8 equals to what? This one is 180. And then you times the 8. Oh, no. Okay, it's 1,440 cubic feet. Okay, don't forget because it's a volume, okay? It's volume, so you need to use cubic feet. Then the family is 14 times 20 times 8. Okay, so in this case, I'll probably multiply these two first. So it's 160. And then I'll multiply that one. Okay, so it's 2,240 cubic feet. Then you just add them, right? So 3,680 cubic feet. Alrighty, so let's keep moving. Okay, so I need to make this smaller. Okay, so the diagram below shows a set of 3 different size containers Tanner used to store dry foods. The large container held, see, that's a math word. That's you need to either circle or you put them in the right place. Okay, A is actually 12 3/4 cups. Okay, of dry food, and then B is 2/3 of A. When you see the word of, it's basically just means multiply because it's part of something, right? So when it's part of something, you multiply. Okay, and then 2/3 of B. So, okay, again, you know, you put them accordingly. A is 12 3/4. B is 12A multiply 2/3, right? 2/3 of A. So you put them into improper fraction. Okay, and then you can actually cross simplify. Okay, so it's 17.5. 17.5 will simplify to 8.5. Okay, so B is 8.5. So since B, okay, so here's C. If B is 8.5 and then C is 2/3 of that, so you multiply again, okay? Okay, then it's 17/3, so it's 5 2/3, right? So C is 5 2/3. They want to know what was the total amount. Oh wow, okay, then you have to add them. Okay, I'll just add them here. So again, whole number, okay, and fraction, right? And then you add them. So when they don't have the same denominator, you're going to need to make them the same. So they can all go to 12. Okay, so 9 plus 6 is 15, plus 8 is 23, 12, and then the whole number is 25. And then this, you can actually simplify to another whole, so it's 26, 11, 12 cups in total. Okay? I know that's a lot of calculation. Okay, a juice company produced 8,064 cartons of juice in 21 days. Each day, they produce the same number of cartons and deliver those cartons to 16 area coffee shops. The cartons were delivered in cases of 6 cartons per case, and each coffee shop received an equal number of cases in each delivery. How many cases were delivered to each coffee shop? Okay, so first of all, you need to find out the total cartons divided by 21 days, meaning each day, right? Each day, there are how many cartons? So it's a long division. Okay, so can A divided by 21? No, so it will be that. So the closest is actually 3. Okay, and then be 8. Ooh, oh, and then 4. Wow, it's a nice number. So it's 384 cartons per day. Okay. Then, because they break down into 6 cartons per case, so then you're going to need to find out how many cases are there, right? So again, it's another long division. 384 divided by 6. So 64 cases. Okay, and then they have to go to what? 16 shops. So 64 divided by 16 is 4. Right, so it will be 4 cases delivered to each shop. Okay? Okay, 54. For 4 weeks in June, Cameron biked 3 1/4 miles each week and swam 2 1/2 each week. And for 3 weeks in July, he biked that long and then swim that long. Okay, so they want you to what? How much greater in July compared to the total distance in June? Okay, so again, you're gonna need to organize them. Okay, so this is June, this is July. Okay, once you put them in the right place, you know, they're just easier to see. Okay, so for 4 weeks, for 4 weeks, okay, let's start with bike. 3 1/4 times 4, right? Because it's 4 weeks. Okay, is 13. So 2 1/2 times 4, it's 10. So for June, the total is 23 miles. For July, 4 3/4 times 3, because it's only 3 weeks, okay? So July is 3, June is 4. Okay, it's 14 1/4. Swimming is 3 1/2 times 3. It's 10 1/2. So if you add them, it's 24 3/4. So you just add June and July. So you add the whole number is 47/3/4. Oh no, they're asking for how much greater. They're asking for comparison. Oopsie. I thought they were asking for total. Hold on. Okay, because I was just reading how to write the answer, and then I realized that no, they're asking to compare. Okay, so compare, you're going to need to do minus. Okay, so it's 1 and what? 3/4 miles. So July, he biked 1 mile and 3/4 longer than June. Okay, so I think this is the last question. Oh yeah, I was right. Okay, so we're almost there, so hang in there. Okay, so this question. Okay, so the table shows part of operating budget of a small dairy farm of last year. The only expense not listed in the table is maintenance, meaning that there's actually another category called maintenance. Okay, but then they didn't show. Then this year, the managers of the farm will change the fraction of the budget for housing to 1/8. So this is last year, right? So then you can actually just extend it your own chart. This year, they wanted to change housing to 1/8, right? And then the one they believe food are the same. So again, the remaining portion will be the maintenance. What is the difference between the fraction of the budget for maintenance this year and last year? You need to find out the question mark for each year. Okay, so first you need to find out last year. Okay, so see, we need to know that when they give you fraction, meaning that the whole thing should be 1, okay? So 1/3 plus 1/3, okay, food 1/3 plus housing plus medical care plus maintenance, we don't know, should equals to 1, right? So how do we find out the question mark? Of course, the question mark will be 1 minus 1/3 minus 1/3 minus 1/4. Right? And then, you know, if you just do 12 minus 12, 4 minus 12, 4 minus 12, 3. That's 11. So the maintenance is actually what? 1/12. Okay? Then, so you can actually replace the maintenance here. 1 and 1/12. So then this year, the food is the same. Medicare is the same. And then we need to find out then what is the maintenance again. Okay, so 1/3 plus 1/8 plus 1/4 plus, again, we don't know the maintenance, should again equals to 1, right? So the question mark should equal to 1 minus 1/3 minus 1/8 minus 1/4. So they can all go to what? 24. So 24 minus 24, 8 is equivalent fraction, okay? 6. So 24 minus 7 is 7. So 7/24. 7/24 is this year. And 1/12 is last year. They want you to do what? What is the difference? Okay, so the difference will be 7/24 minus 1/12. Okay, so this is going to go to an equivalent fraction of 2. So it's 5/24. Phew. I know, it's a lot of fraction calculation, right? So just got to practice more. So the more you practice, you wouldn't find them to be too uncomforting. All right. So hopefully you can, hopefully you were just listening to me. And then right now, I think the better way is to go back and try to do them yourself and then see if you're able to, just, go right through them. Okay. Have fun.